The Buffalo Bills Ravens game was interesting because I was really pulling for Lamar Jackson, man. He was finally able to get his first playoff victory last weekend when they beat the Tennessee Titans on the road in Tennessee, changing the narrative just a bit that he couldn't really do it when it counted most. He had lost all his other previous playoff games to this point. I think he was 0-2, I guess, or maybe 0-2. But now he's like 1 and 2 in the playoffs, or I guess now he's 1-3 in the playoffs because they lost against the Buffalo Bills. And look, man, as much as I like Lamar Jackson, and I think he's a very talented dude, he definitely is going to have to improve this next coming year if he wants to get those mega dollars. And I know that's going to be the conversation that a lot of people are going to start to have around Lamar Jackson because he will be coming into his fourth year. And coming into your fourth year, he has 1 year. He'll have 1 year left on his deal. Are they going to pick up his fifth-year option? Are they going to just sign him to maybe a 4 or 5 year or 6 year extension and pay him big-time money? But as it stands right now, I wouldn't pay him that money because he hasn't shown me that he can do it both with his legs and in the pocket. Now, some people were saying on Twitter, I was kind of getting into this little debate, and they were saying, well, he doesn't have a go-to number one receiver like a Devontae Adams or a Stephon Diggs or a Tyreek Hill. And while he may not have a guy like that on his team, he does have Hollywood Brown, who is a legitimate down-the-field threat. He does have Mark Andrews, who is one of the best tight ends in the game. They do have a stable of running backs, a really good offensive line, and they even have like a couple of other tight ends that he can go to and have proved to be like a security blanket over his first couple of years in the NFL. And I think I saw a lot of times this season watching some of the Ravens games because I was invested in the Lamar Jackson story, and I do want him to succeed. I saw several times this year, man, where he didn't really seem to show up, man. He didn't really seem to be able to put the ball where you needed it to be in critical times. And there were a few games I can remember. At least 10 to 12 throws that I can remember, or like just kind of stood out to me, was like, man, if he was just more accurate on that ball, that could have been a touchdown, or that could have been a really big play that could have extended the drive. So I'm not selling my stock on Lamar Jackson just yet. Lamar needs to be either backup quarterback or running back. No, I'm not going to say that, man. Lamar Jackson is a starting quarterback in the league. He definitely does something that I don't think anyone else can do. The way that he runs the ball and the way he's dynamic outside of the pocket. He just needs to develop a little bit more. He needs a quarterback coach or offensive coordinator that can really bring out the best in him and not just highlight his ability to run and move outside the pocket. I mean, the dude did throw 36 touchdowns last year and almost 4,000 yards receiving. 4,000 yards through the air on top of 1,200 yards on the ground. So I think he can do it. I think he just needs a little more practice. He needs a little more development. This year was not the best year for that because we all know it was shortened and it was restricted by COVID.
Puda, you the GOAT, boy.